Chapter 6 of the White Linen Nurse. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The White Linen Nurse by Eleanor Hallowell Abbott. Chapter 6. Headlong the senior surgeon pitched over on the grass, his last vestige of self-control stripped from him, horror unspeakable racking him sobbingly from head to toe. Whimperingly, the little girl came crawling to him, and settling down close at his feet, began with her tiny lace handkerchief to make futile dabs at the mud-stains on his gray silk stockings. "Never mind, father," she coaxed. "We'll get you clean sometime." Nervously the White Linen Nurse bethought her of the brook. "Oh, wait a minute, sir, and I'll get you a drink of water," she pleaded. Brusquely the senior surgeon's hand jerked out and grabbed at her skirt. "Don't leave me," he begged. "For God's sake, don't leave me!" Weakly he struggled up again and sat staring piteously at the blazing car. His unrelinquished clutch on the White Linen Nurse's skirt brought her sinking softly down beside him like a collapsed balloon. Together they sat and watched the gaseous yellow flames shoot up into the sky. "It's pretty, isn't it?" piped the little girl. "Eh?" groaned the senior surgeon. "Father," persisted the shrill little voice. "Father, do people ever burn up?" "Eh?" gasped the senior surgeon. Brutally the harsh, shuddering sobs began to rack and tear again through his great chest. "There, there," crooned the White Linen Nurse, struggling desperately to her knees. "Let me get everybody a drink of water." Again the senior surgeon's unrelinquished clutch on her skirt jerked her back to the place beside him. "I said not to leave me!" he snapped out as roughly as he jerked. Before the affrighted look in the White Linen Nurse's face, a sheepish, mirthless grin flickered across one corner of his mouth. "Lord, but I'm shaken," he apologized. "Me, of all people!" Painfully the red blood mounted to his cheeks. "Me, of all people!" Bluntly he forced the White Linen Nurse's reluctant gaze to meet his own. "Only yesterday," he persisted, "I did a laparotomy on a man who had only one chance in 100 of pulling through, and I scolded him for fighting off his ether cone. Scolded him, I tell you!" "Yes, I know," soothed the White Linen Nurse. "But—" "But nothing!" growled the senior surgeon. "The fear of death! Bah! All my life I've scoffed at it. Die? Yes, of course, when you have to, but with no kick coming. Why, I've been wrecked in a typhoon in the Gulf of Mexico, and I didn't care. And I've lain for 9 days more dead than alive in an Asiatic cholera camp, and I didn't care. And I've been locked into my office 3 hours with a raving maniac in a dynamite bomb, and I didn't care. And twice in a peninsula mine disaster I've been the first man down the shaft, and I didn't care. And I've been shot, I tell you, and I've been horse-trampled, and I've been wolf-bitten, and I've never cared. But today—" Piteously all the pride and vigor wilted from his great shoulders, leaving him all huddled up like a woman, with his head on his knees. "But today I've got mine," he acknowledged brokenly. Once again the White Linen Nurse tried to rise. "Oh, please, sir, let me get you a drink of water," she suggested helplessly. "I said not to leave me!" jerked the senior surgeon. Perplexedly, with big staring eyes, the little crippled girl glanced up at this strange fatherish person, who sounded so suddenly small and scared like herself. Jealous instantly of her own prerogatives, she dropped her futile labors on the mud-stained silk stockings and scrambled precipitously for the white linen nurse's lap, where she nestled down finally after many gyrations and sat glowering forth at all possible interlopers. "Don't leave any of us!" she ordered with a peremptoriness not unmixed with supplication. "Surely some one will see the fire and come and get us," conceded the senior surgeon. "Yes, surely," mused the white linen nurse. Just at that moment she was mostly concerned with adjusting the curve of her shoulder to the curve of the little girl's head. "I could sit more comfortably," she suggested to the senior surgeon, "if you'd let go my skirt." "Let go of your skirt? Who's touching your skirt?" gasped the senior surgeon incredulously. Once again the blood mounted darkly to his face. "I think I'll get up and walk around a bit," he confided coldly. "Do, sir," said the white linen nurse. Ouchily, with a tweak of pain through his sprained back, the senior surgeon sat suddenly down again. "I shan't get up till I'm good and ready," he attested. "I wouldn't, sir," said the white linen nurse. Very slowly, very complacently, all the while she kept right on renovating the little girl's personal appearance, smoothing a wrinkled stocking, tucking up obstreperous white ruffles, tugging down parsimonious purple hems, loosening a pinchy hook, tightening a wobbly button. Very slowly, very complacently, the little girl drowsed off to sleep, with her weazened little iron-cased legs stretched stiffly out before her. "Poor little legs, poor little legs, poor little legs," crooned the white linen nurse. "I don't know as you need to make a song about it," winced the senior surgeon. "It's just about the crudest case of complete muscular atrophy that I've ever seen." Blandly the white linen nurse lifted her big blue eyes to his. "It wasn't her complete muscular atrophy that I was thinking about," she said. "It's her panties that are so unbecoming." "Eh?" jumped the senior surgeon. "Poor little legs, poor little legs, poor little legs," resumed the white linen nurse droningly. Very slowly, very complacently, all around them April kept right on being April. Very slowly, very complacently, all around them the grass kept on growing, and the trees kept right on budding. Very slowly, very complacently, all around them the blue sky kept right on fading into its early evening dove colors. Nothing brisk, nothing breathless, nothing even remotely hurried was there in all the landscape except just the brook, and the flash of a bird, and the blaze of the crackling automobile. The white linen nurse's nostrils were smooth and calm with the lovely sappy scent of rabbit-nibbled maple bark and mud-wet arbutus buds. The white linen nurse's mind was full of sumptuous, succulent marsh marigolds and fluffy white shadbush blossoms. The senior surgeon's nostrils were all puckered up with the stench of burning varnish. The senior surgeon's mind was full of the horrid thought that he had forgotten to renew his automobile fire insurance, and that he had a sprained back, and that his rival colleague had told him he didn't know how to run an auto anyway, and that the cook had given notice that morning, and that he had a sprained back, and that the moths had gnawed the knees out of his new dress suit, and that the superintendent of nurses had had the audacity to send him a bunch of pink roses for his birthday, and that the boiler in the kitchen leaked, and that he had to go to Philadelphia the next day to read a paper on surgical methods at the Battle of Waterloo, and he hadn't even begun the paper yet, and that he had a sprained back, and that the wallpaper in his library hung in shreds and tatters, waiting for him to decide between a French fresco effect and an early English panelling, and that his little daughter was growing up in wanton ugliness under the care of coarse, indifferent hirelings, and that the laundry robbed him weekly of at least 5 socks, and that it would cost him fully $7,000 to replace this car, and that he had a sprained back, It's restful, isn't it?" cooed the white linen nurse.